Hey folks, welcome back to Only the Best Fantasy Novels. And today I want to talk about Den of Wolves, the third and final book in the Blackthorn and Grimm trilogy by Juliet Marillier. So this is just an enchanting, enjoyable finale to what's been a absolutely surprising dark horse of a series for me. Like when I got the chance to read this earlier this year, I didn't expect to enjoy these books a quarter as much as I did. They just hooked me right from the get go. And this book is easily the best of the three, easily the most fascinating one. It tops the other two by a large mile, and yeah, let's get straight into it. So a quick breakdown of what happens. Essentially, Grimm accepts this commission to build this house deep in the woods. But this house is very unique. It has very strange specifications, and the circumstances in which it has to be built are also very strange. Grimm is very reluctant to do it, but he does it, and it forces him to basically stay apart from Blackthorn for quite a while he focuses on this. On the other hand, Blackthorn finds herself with her hands full when a strange child comes to court, and this child happens to be the daughter of the Lord who commissions Grimm to build that home. She gets her hands full with some of the mystery surrounding this child, and between the two of them, they essentially tackle overall mystery from two different angles, and it's a very strange and it's a very evil mystery. Like some of the things that are involved in this particular story are just dark. There's no they're just horrific on a very human level, and as the two of them go through their different plot arcs, whatever you want to call it, this picture starts to slowly unfold, and you kind of guess what's the thing. What's the you kind of guess what's the what was the event at the heart of this mystery, but you kind of hope against hope that it's your guess is inaccurate, and whether it is or not, I'll leave you that to read and find out. But yeah, that's kind of my kind of a nutshell of what happens in this book. There is also the other plot point of that stretches right back to the initial book with Blackthorn's conflict with this lord that landed her in jail in the first place. It does come to a head in this book in a very interesting way, and but I'll talk about that more later because that kind of deserves its own topic, its own discussion. But yeah, like I said, this is easily the best and the most messed up of a trilogy of books that have been increasingly more fascinating, increasingly more wonderful, and also increasingly more messed up in the events that they put the characters through, both on the quote-unquote protagonist and quote-unquote semi-antagonist sides of the line. Juliet Marillier is like Robin Hobb in that she doesn't hesitate to really put her characters through the ring and put them through some stuff. She gives them these very human, very drastic problems to deal with, and it makes for some just really compelling, really fascinating reading because you get hooked early on, and then they go through all this stuff, and just like Robin Hobb, where you can't help but read to just find out what happens next. It's the same thing. It's just the same thing here. Like these, honestly, there are times when you would think that if these characters just got killed off, they would lead better lives than if they were to continue living, especially under some of the conditions that they live. It's pretty brutal. And then we have the magical element of of this novel. The concept of the house that Grimm is building, I just loved it. It's very eldritch. It's very, very, very fey. Like, one of the things that I've grown to appreciate quite a lot more in recent years are just fairy stories, or books that draw on fairy, like in terms of FAERA, and not, and just in terms of like the sense of the wonder and the strangeness and the uniqueness in which they add to a story that quote unquote softer battle style magic systems don't have. Like, I just love that component that they add to story, and this is one of the most captivating, one of the most innovative examples of it I think I've read in quite a while. Quite a while. It was just wonderfully done. When you first get introduced to this particular house, right off the bat, it's clear it's going to be very strange. It's going to be very powerful. Whether it's going to be what the Lord expects it to be is a whole different story, because you know they deal with fairy things. They're never quite what they seem, right? And then we have also some other revelations regarding it, which I kind of liked, or at best I feel ambivalent about, because on one hand they make sense, on the other hand they seem just a wee bit too convenient in terms of the consequences they have on the story. But it is what it is. It does kind of add to that initial, to one of the minor mysteries of the first book, in that how did Blackthorn end up in this situation in the first place. It's just another facet to look at. It does kind of come out of left field, which kind of might feel a little contrived. But like I said, that's something the suspension of disbelief kind of has to play a part in. But yeah, overall, not something I disliked or anything like that. It is what it is. So then we get to the most important part of this book, which is the quote unquote grand finale, the solution to the overarching plot that's been slowly unfolded over the course of these 3 books. And it's important, and the reason why I saved it for last is because it shows just how much Blackthorn has grown from the character we first meet in the first book. She has to make choices here, decisions here that they were not easy to make, but at the same time, the fact that she was even capable of considering making such a choice goes to show just how far she's come. Because in the past, when faced with something close to the similar situation, she just went straight right off the bat without thinking in completely different directions. So just the mere fact that she could consider the choices before her, and no spoilers, but one of them that she eventually takes is very different from what she's chosen to do in the past. And it just kind of underlines and testifies just how much she's grown, how much she's dealt with, and how much she's how much impact and effect her new life has had on her. Being part of this new community, being part of this new cadre of acquaintances, if you want to call it that. It's really good. For me, it was like a really good capstone, given how the first book started. And it just added to my enjoyment of this book. Overall, absolutely wonderful conclusion to the trilogy. I have to say, like, when I started Dreamer's Pool, I never imagined I would be embarking on a series that I could enjoy as much as I did this trilogy. But yeah, that just goes to show why you need to give books a chance, even when you have no idea what you're walking into. But yeah, that kind of concludes my thoughts on this book, this trilogy as a whole. And if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.